Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Week 12 Lineup Advice Show. Your Shepard is here. Jonsey is there. And we got a fantastic, evening for you guys. We're gonna get down to it, man. This is Go Flight. The engines are ignited. The smoke is coming from the bottom, rising to the top. It's go time, Jonesy. It really is.
Yep.
I mean, like, look, it creeps up on you real fast. It's a wonderful 11 plus weeks so far, and we're gonna get you over the top. We certainly are. But before we get into all your tough lineup questions, and we'll adjust them as to the best of our knowledge as possible. Jonesy, we had a game last night. The Browns did take care of the divisional rival Browns. Steelers. It was a game that didn't surprise me one bit. But this is what I wanted to ask you, because it's very relevant now, this time of year, moving forward. It doesn't happen as much as I think it may have used to taking place, but the weather games, how much does weather play into your lineup decisions?
I mean, it usually doesn't. After that Green Bay game a couple weeks ago, but there was all the weather and people were freaking out about it. I kind of changed my thinking a little bit after that game. So going into last night, I figured it'd be a lot of running the ball, and I have a lot of Tillman everywhere. But with the buys this week, it was hard not to play him. That was the problem. So and Tillman, I mean, obviously he didn't do well, and then he ended up getting hurt too. But it has to play a factor, but it just comes down to, I mean, you're not going to take a guy, like a Cooper Kupp, let's say, and he's playing in weather, and then all of a sudden go start Xavier Worthy or something over him. I mean, if you got two guys that are close and one's got weather and one doesn't, that could be your decision maker, but I'm not letting it make make huge decisions because of a little weather. I mean, we've all, as kids, we played in weather. We know what it's like. You just adapt, and you're still going to be playing in the game, so you just play your guys. I mean, and if you have to adjust a little bit, do it, but don't get too crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the way I've approached it. Very, very simple. The weatherman, the forecast, the meteorologist, you would have to tell me that there's a storm, a serious, lake effect storm, nor'easter type of storm. Nowadays, you're getting bomb cyclones, which I'm not even sure those really affect the Northwest in terms of football, the way a nor'easter or a lake effect storm. It has to be a storm with significant heavy wind.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you're going to tell me it's snowing out, snowfall, whether it's like the drizzle type or whether it's like a constant, snowfall, that's not going to affect whether I'm going to, potentially pull what would be a regular starter out of the ball game.
Yeah.
If it's a storm, and if they're going to play in a storm, which most of the time they do, unless it's one of those crazy blizzard type of storms where they're most likely they're moving games nowadays. But if they were to again kick off in a quote unquote storm type of snowfall type of game, then you'd have to make a consideration to potentially sit your quarterback if you've got a better one, a better option in a non-weathered game, or you'd have to perhaps swap out a wide receiver. The running backs, in my mind,
There's starts no matter what.
It never affected the running back. So what? Yeah, they may fumble. Okay, they may fumble in 80 degrees and sunshine. So I mean, like it's.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's like I was saying, and you were just saying, if you have two guys that are close, I get it playing the guy without the weather. But at the end of the day, the offense has the advantage in weather. They know where they're going. The defense doesn't know.
They're the ones that are on. Yeah.
Obviously, everyone can slip. Everyone can fall. Everyone can drop passes. Everyone can drop interceptions, whatever. But at the end of the day, the offense has the advantage. So to me, it's almost, weather plays an effect, but you just got to temper expectations.
Right.
I mean,
there was a I was thinking about this intro, and I was thinking about like even last year. So like like again, there was like a really a storm, a winter storm. Okay, in Buffalo, they moved the game. Okay, fine. But then it also got me thinking about other situations, other games earlier in the year. A connection of mine. It was like October. Right, and it was raining here. It was raining in the tri-state area, and I got the whether it was a DM, whatever. The person texted me, DM'd me, "How's the weather there?" Because he's got Garrett Wilson. Like it's drizzling. it's raining. It's rain. So you're DMing me like mid to late October due to rain, whether to start Garrett Wilson. It was against the Bears, Jonsey. He had 2 touchdowns that game. So, again, it would have to be some serious weather. Serious outdoor weather with wind. That's the real catalyst. It's wind. It's not necessarily just what we saw last night in Pittsburgh, Cleveland. That was like a steady the first half, it was nothing. It was flurry. Second half, it came down, but it wasn't serious enough. Jameson still threw his picks, whether it's snowing out or whether it's not snowing out. They wound up winning, and it didn't surprise me one bit. And it did, and I don't think that game necessarily affected the Steelers that much. Not. I don't think that's the reason. The Steelers didn't lose that ball game because of the snow. Not in my opinion at all. Okay, well, that's my weather bit, folks. But Farquaad knows about the weather.
Yeah.
He certainly knows about the weather. A, being from our neighbors to the north, and B, his team happens to be in Buffalo on the other side of the falls, in an outdoor stadium, the nerve. But still, you know what? To each his own. That's their competitive advantage. I love it. I dig it. Nevertheless, Farquaad had a question earlier tonight. I felt compelled to just jump in all over.
Yeah, here, I'll show it.
I didn't even want to wait for you. I just wanted to just answer.
I am not starting Amir Abdullah over Jameson Williams.
So how about what if it was Alexander Madison over JMO? Would you start Alexander Madison over JMO? And this is a standard. I'm pretty sure this is a standard league.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Not because Detroit's got the Colts, so to me that's a good matchup for Jameson.
He's gonna get if it's a boom game, all right, which we think it can be. You're gonna get a nice chunk yardage out of JMO, and there's a good probability of him actually scoring for the Lions. It's good. It's a good probability. Is it a surefire bet? No, but it's good probability. Yeah. Now on the other hand, look, Amir Abdullah. I think it's more likely that JMO scores over Amir Abdullah. But we know what Amir Abdullah is. We all know what Amir Abdullah is.
Yeah, he's not. All of a sudden going to surprise us, and
I bet you he's a hell of a teammate. I bet you he's extremely hard working. If he's been in the league for as long as he has, they're keeping him around for a reason. But we don't get fantasy points for that.
No.
I would start JMO. Yeah, we got that. That's where all upside is. That's without a doubt. That's where the upside is in the standard. And I would probably lean that way if it was half or full PPR as well.
Yeah.
You're the man, Farquad. The only guy that I know that's still playing in the standard league. God bless him.
All right, Ralph. Should I bench CD Lamb for week 12?
What's up, Ralph? Goat, man.
I mean. It really depends what your other options are. Everything always comes down to who is your other option. So throw us out some options. I mean, I'm probably not benching unless it's someone that I just love the matchup for. But throw out what your other option would be first before. I'm not going to tell you yes or no until I see that.
Unless, which I don't believe it would be the case, that he's ruled out, which would leave Ralph with no options, or is kind of forcing the other option. But I believe CD Lamb is going to play. CD Lamb put up close to 20 PPR. That was without scoring last week. So yeah, we know he's disgruntled. Who isn't?
CD was a full practice today.
Who isn't disgruntled on the Cowboys right now? So yeah, I mean, look, I think it goes back to our conversation that we've had the last couple of weeks regarding we gotta play our studs. I don't see there being that many options that are going to be
not this week especially
better than CD Lamb chops, right, Mel? Sniper's getting ready for the playoffs. I don't know. CD Lamb is gonna have to play. I can't unless you've got some sort of Pro Bowl team with Cheetah.
Yeah, if it's a 18 league or something like that.
Justin Jefferson. You've got one of the Packer wide receivers that are going to play. You've got CD Lamb and DJ Moore. How about that one? DJ featured today. Featured DJ Moore. What an unbelievably.
I mean, I still think I'm going CD there. I mean,
yeah, I would too. Here's the thing with DJ Moore, looked better last week.
Yeah,
more targets, designed targets, underneath routes, underneath type of stuff. That's not where you want to try to attack the Vikings, unfortunately. Vikings are pretty solid when it comes to that underneath stuff. You can try to attack the Vikings deep. That might work. If Caleb could hit DJ Moore vertically past the intermediate stuff, man, DJ Moore's in for a nice game. And then again, it goes back to this BYEMAGEDDON, week 12. We got another one coming up also, week 14, folks. And don't worry, we will be here for the GOATs. And if you're new to the channel, please like this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. We appreciate you very much. Who's next? Jonesy go. Oh, it's Max Corleone. Well, I'm not gonna be able to do any more after that. If his name, if Malik is out, man, what a bitch. Excuse my language. What a the BYEMAGEDDON week 12 as if that wasn't bad enough. Right now, you've got this dude that pops up on an injury report. You got Devontae Smith out. I mean, you might as well. You should have just given them buys off as well. I mean, if Malik is out, do you roll Addison or Wandale Robinson versus the Buck secondary, or do you go with Jordan Addison playing the Bears? Right? Yeah.
I mean, if Neighbors is out, I mean, I don't love Wandale. I mean, everyone knows that. But I think you almost have to in that case, just because you got Slayton, maybe a little Theo Johnson, but it's
we're also having this conversation as if we don't have Mr. Tommy Cutlets under center. Now, yes, of course, we could all look back on the record last year and his game log last year, and there was some positives to draw off of. There were some games. There might have been a game that was even nationally televised. And he wasn't terrible. However, this is a massive downgrade. It's a massive downgrade even for Malik Neighbors. It's a downgrade. I think we're safer with Jordan Addison, just like what I was talking about with
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're safer with Addison.
I think we're safer with Jordan Addison in this situation with a safer quarterback.
If you want the safe option, it's Addison. Wandale's riskier, but I mean, I'm not saying it's going to pay off even any more than Addison would, but if it's PPR, he could get peppered with targets, and that adds up quickly. I mean, we already know he gets the targets. He just doesn't get the yards,
Yeah, I mean, I know Addison's got the Bears. I know the Bears kind of have pretty decent secondary.
Yeah. See, I just look at the Vikings-Bears game. I think it's going to be a big Aaron Jones week because you can run on the Bears. And then you're still behind Justin Jefferson, So
maybe
I just don't know how much is going to be there for Addison, I'm just looking at opportunity. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get some clarification, tomorrow, and then
that Malik Neighbors is playing.
Yeah,
that's the clarification that we're looking for. So I mean, yeah,
showing up on a Friday report did not practice is not good news.
No, it sucks. As a matter of fact, it's lousy. I have Malik Neighbors in a couple of spots.
Yep, me too.
On winning teams. One of them is definitely playoff bound. The other one is
the wrong week to have this happen too.
What's the Warrior Bowl is a 7-4 team, and that's kind of like I fluctuate between 7 seed and 4 seed. 4 seed, 7 seed. That's my Warrior Bowl team each week. Back and forth. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Again, Brock Purdy. Goodbye.
Yep.
I feel like the Niners are just going to wash their hands with this season after this week. Or they are. They're washing their hands with it. They'll shut down CMC after this week. Just get healthy. Just get right. They see the rest of the schedule. They see the teams that are ahead of them in the standings. I'm not talking about the West either. I'm talking about like the Eagles. I'm talking about the other teams. Not necessarily the Falcons. Talking about the Niners are about to shut it down, I think. Who the hell else? Who am I missing? Not the Eagles.
Well, I mean, Lions, Vikings.
The Lions.
Eagles,
the Lions. That's the team that was stuck.
Falcons are going to win their division probably.
It's the Lions that I couldn't get stuck out of my mouth. It's the line. They're looking at the Lions. They're like, well, we need to be home. We need home field advantage against a team like that. It's not going to happen.
But
we're pretty worried about Kittle. Yeah. I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, I know who he is, but what kind of reps has he had? Now, here's on one side of the coin, we do have an example. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
So they did find him. But on the other hand, they also went off to get Trey Lance. So I mean, they're kind of batting 500 when it comes to the quarterbacks. He could wind up doing decent. Like we hope, fingers crossed, that Tommy DeVito will do decent. But yeah, I would be concerned with Kittle as well. I mean, who knows how 100, if there is such a thing at this time of year, how healthy he is. We know he's off the injury report. We know he's supposed to play. How much is he going to play? I'd be concerned with that too. If I start Auden, should I put Pollard or Kittle in the flex? No, you should start Cade Otton. And should I put Pollard or no? I would start Tony Pollard also.
Yeah,
I would start Tony Pollard. I don't think Tajay Spears is going to play.
Nope, he's out
again.
Yep.
I'm not worried about what's his face over there. The Haskins.
Haskins is on Chargers now.
The other guy I'm thinking of. You know who I'm thinking of.
You are thinking Julius Chestnut.
Julius Chestnut. How can I forget that? One of my closest, dearest friends had a dog, or I hope he still has a dog named Julius. Longest time. Love that golden retriever. Secondly, how could you forget about like Chestnut, Joey Chestnut, hot dog guy here, Coney Island. Although I'm not too close to Coney Island, folks.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not overly concerned with Kittle. His touchdown chances drop. But, with any backup quarterback, they're going to pepper the running backs. They're going to pepper the tight ends. I mean, those are the comfort zones, So I'm still starting Otten over Kittle because of this. And yeah, you're definitely playing Pollard. Pollard should always be in your lineup, especially with Spirit.
There's something to be said about what you brought up, Jonsey, just now in terms of relying on the tight end and even a veteran quarterback, someone such as Baker Mayfield, who wasn't without his star wide receiver, then his other wide receiver, his number 2 wide receiver went down. 2 veteran wide receivers. One of them is a Hall of Famer. They both went down. Baker Mayfield had to rely on his tight end. So there's something to be said about, that safety valve, that security blanket. Yes, absolutely. And now that Mike Evans is coming back, I'm not prepared to push Cade Otton to the side. No, I think that Cade Otton's still a very viable option, for sure. I wouldn't play both of them in this situation. No, I think you got a good situation with Tony Pollard. Sniper!
Yeah, no, I wouldn't play 2 tight ends.
Sniper!
Scott Fishbowl.
I believe that Bateman popped up questionable. I believe. And he's also playing a very tough defense, his brother's defense. His head coach's brother's defense. Now, I wouldn't play Jatavian Sanders either, though.
No,
I don't want to play Jatavian Sanders. Isn't Adam Thielen back this week?
No, he's questionable, and
even
they were asking him. He's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be ready. It's been like 10 weeks of this crap.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't want to play. I mean,
true.
at this point, I'm
sorry.
It's obvious he doesn't want to play. Just talk to just tell him you can't play the rest of the year. Just go on IR and be done with it.
Talk to your union rep.
Yeah,
I don't like Jatavian Sanders either, Sniper. You've got other options besides these dudes.
I mean, Hunter Henry's I'm assuming that's Hunter Henry. Not a horrible option.
No, Hunter Henry is
this week, but
start one in the flex. If it was one in the flex, then the Scott Fishbowl, it would be Hunter Henry here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trusting Sanders and Bateman. No, I've never been a Bateman guy.
Kind of think the Amir has one of those
Chase Edmond games that
how many games
on the map and then he disappears after it.
All right, well, no, right. My question would be, how many Chase Edmond games have there been? Not that many. Not that many. Don't even look it up. I don't want you to waste your time. No, I mean, Max, you've seen Amir Abdullah, man. I mean, like he's a third down back. I don't know about how much this year, but he was a returns guy. He's someone that kind of he's a football guy. Let me put it to you that way. Like, he probably picks up his blocking assignments really well. He knows where to be when the play's not even called for him. So like he's one of those guys. He's not carrying the ball for you. He might get you 10 touches, maybe 12 total touches. If he exceeds 12 total touches, maybe he crosses over that goal line. Maybe. It's not something that I want to bet on though. Look how lousy this team has been. It's not something that I want to bet on. I'd much rather bet on Jacoby Myers against the Broncos, although that's not an easy task right now. It's not. I'd rather bet on Brock Bowers. They can't run the ball with Alexander Madison. They couldn't run the ball with Zamir White. I don't know why they're going to run the ball with Amir Abdullah. Dylan Lobb. Now, Dylan Lobb was like brought in as like to replace Amir Abdullah. So again, you're talking about two of the same running backs. Yeah. As far as I could tell, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see either one of these dudes being that type of running back all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, Mel's got Naylor also. Does that change your opinion on anything? It doesn't for me, but she had Henry, Bateman, or Sanders.
No, it would be Bateman before Naylor if we're going to talk wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's not Sanders at all over Hunter Henry or either of them. Sanders was sneaky a few weeks ago, but that was before Bryce Young came back into the fold. And that was kind of like when we were trying to feel out Jalen Coker and Xavier Legette as well, which, again, Xavier Legette is probably a start this week. Jalen Coker is a borderline start this week, borderline. Yeah, I don't know about Sanders. And they're playing the Chiefs. Bryce Young may not even throw a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
he might not throw a touchdown.
He's going to need to if they want to win, but I don't have high expectations.
This is a good one right here from the Magic Goat.
JSN or DJ Moore rest of season?
Rest of fantasy season or rest of the full season?
I would just say the entire thing.
Yeah,
playoffs.
Yeah. Who's got the better schedule? I would want to look at that first. Secondly, if I had to make a snap call on this right now, I would probably go DJ Moore. Snap call. Yeah. I'm not 100% confident in it. I feel like we're going to see a little bit of like regression to the means for DJ Moore. We're hoping for that anyway. We may get several better performances. We're going to need better performances out of Caleb Williams, obviously. JSN again, man. I think he's more talented. He's more talented, and he's playing alongside of DK Metcalf. He's playing alongside of Tyler Lockett and a tight end in Noah Fant, or whatever tight end they want to throw out there. Not to mention their running backs.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, I mean, and I'm guilty of this. I always bring up the same, arguments when we talk about JSN all the time, but I have to realize that he is wide receiver 10 right now in PPR. It's a quiet wide receiver 10. I mean, the last couple of weeks he's blown up, especially. But I don't think Tyler Lockett anymore is holding him back. And I mean, I want to say DJ Moore rest of the season because I think DJ Moore is the more talented wide receiver. He's the number one wide receiver,
Yeah.
We're in Seattle. To me, it's DK Metcalf still. So I want to say DJ Moore, but unless they can do a quick turnaround with that passing game in Chicago, I gotta side with JSN. You know, I mean, I'd love to say DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore. I think they are gonna improve from what we've seen lately.
Right now, they're pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, if I was making this trade, I would want the JSN side, if that's what this is.
I can see DJ Moore going on a heater. Hopefully that begins this week. If not, we just wait another week. Again, last week was promising. We're starting to see. Hopefully, again, we're starting to see the effects of maybe this new offensive coordinator getting him involved. The caveat to that is this week against the Vikings, where they may be putting the clamps down on that type of offensive approach with DJ Moore. That's the only thing. But if they could counter that chess move and get him the ball deep and maybe use freaking use Romo Dunes in that situation and for all the underneath stuff, which is again easier said than done.
Yeah.
Well, we should get a nice performance. We should get production and touchdowns from DJ Moore moving forward. I think these things have a way of working.
I can make an argument in a case for either guy. I mean, I like them both going forward, but Trone, what's going on? Thanks for
Trone Goat. This guy's ready for the freaking playoffs.
Should I trade D-Hop for Ramondre? PPR, RBs are Barkley, Monty, Mostert. Wide receivers, Tyreek, Cup, McLaurin, JSN, Mooney. Yeah. I mean, I don't love Ramondre, but
if you don't love Ramondre, then I really don't love Mostert.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, I don't love Ramondre, but Mostert is a non-factor. And you need to get a third running back.
You've got a good supporting cast of wide. Yeah. You've got a good
6
supporting
solid
cast of wide receivers
with D-Hop. So I would definitely trade one of them. I mean, I would even be okay maybe trying to give up. Do you try to give up like a McLaurin or something like that and try to improve that third running back? Because McLaurin's got a bye in 2 weeks, week 14, and you don't have to deal with the bye. And I mean, I love McLaurin. I have him many places, but to me, having JSN and Mooney behind him still, I mean, or do you try to get crazy and try to move Tyreek or something? I don't know what to think of Tyreek going forward. I mean, he's obviously starting for me every single week, but I don't know. Things are just weird with him this year.
Yeah, I'm with everything you said.
So
sure, make the deal. Make the deal while you still can. Right? Yeah. Like, what do you like? Is deadline like 11:59 this evening? Make the deal. Yeah. Unless there is no trade deadline.
But, I'm okay doing the D-Hop just for Ramondre too, though, because I mean, most likely you're probably not starting 3 running backs, so maybe it is better that you just do D-Hop for Ramondre and just have him as a bench piece fill-in. Jace, Worthy or Wandale? I'm on the Worthy side for this one.
We're going to side with the quarterback. We're going to side with the Chiefs. We're going to side with the fact that there's a good possibility when the Chiefs will have this game pretty much in hand.
That's the only problem.
Well, why would that be a problem? They would have to run somebody out there. They would have someone's going to have to be on the field.
Here's the problem. If the Chiefs, the Panthers are horrible against the run. So if the Chiefs come out and they just run all over the Panthers, and they get up 21-0, they're not going to let off. They're just going to keep running the football. I mean, I'm sure they're going to take some shots with Worthy, obviously, but if they don't do it early, that's a bad sign for Worthy.
They
don't come out, throwing that deep ball first quarter. You could be in trouble.
He's the receiver that stands to run the most amount of routes, as far as I'm concerned, this weekend against this team. Not DeAndre Hopkins, not Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't even know if he won. There's not one of the tight ends. Maybe Noah Gray would certainly outsnap Travis Kelce again in a positive game script for the Chiefs that are already most likely looking ahead to Friday or Thursday night football. They're playing the Friday game. Yeah. They're already looking ahead, even if it is against the freaking Raiders. Same thing, by the way, for the Lions. Like, this could be a trap game for them as well against the Colts. But we should get into more of that, like maybe tomorrow before, like for the intro. Nevertheless, I would think I'm going to predict here that Xavier Worthy stands to have the most routes run for this team. Now, again, if I have to say that Wan'Dale Robinson, I think Xavier Worthy I think is the better play
I'm still on the Worthy
side. In the better offense.
I'm just bringing up what the downside could be, with him.
In the better offense. I TM you. Yeah, to win, of course. Yes, win. We're all here to win. Thoughts on Jonathan Brooks? From one Jonathan to another, Mad Max. We're we're crossing our fingers for the young man. That's number one. Number two, not the best matchup again, Chiefs. Yeah. Look, we know that they want to get him involved. We know. I don't think this is an injury issue at this point. I think this is like a upstairs type of issue, mental issue. He's just got to maybe get in there, take a hit, feel comfortable making a cut, and then, continue on from there. This isn't a start. It's not a start.
Yeah, no. I mean, unless you're like completely desperate and you need something, but you have to think of it this way. Even though it's week 12 in the NFL, this is week 1 for Jonathan Brooks. Think about every other rookie running back that comes out week 1 every year. Everyone thinks they're going to go to the moon. And what do? They get 5 carries for 12 yards. Everyone's like, what the hell? That is what could happen this week.
This may even be preseason.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to expect that you might get nothing from him, playing him. I mean, everyone thinks it's to the moon, but
I got it.
Temper your expectations.
I got him here. I got him on roster. Well, he's been there since day one. I'm not playing him. I don't have to, but I wouldn't play him. I would probably look for another option, although that is slim. I get it. I would probably want another option. I would probably want a second tight end in a flex, or I would want another wide receiver. Because I'm sure we're talking about the flex right now. If this is the RB2 that we're talking about, I doubt it though. I doubt we're talking about the RB2.
Actually, Mel Jair is out this week. Disley.
Now you got Disley. I mean, we asked you to start Disley in week 11. I deleted the banner, or I would plaster that all over the place right now. We asked you to start him last week. Now that's not to say that I don't think he's going to have a bad game. I do think that the way he's being used and the way that the Chargers are playing, I think that it will be a good week for Disley as well. Just again, based on usage. I am kind of concerned though, Jonesy. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I shouldn't be concerned. I think we might be like at that tipping point with Disley, right, where he'll have an off game, he'll have a bad game. It's bound to happen. It's bound to come.
Yeah, I mean.
I just hope we can get another one out of him.
This is the same as every other tight end, like a
I hope we could get another solid game out of him because, yep, I have him started as well. But again, I am kind of a fan because he's been on a heater.
Yeah.
For a tight end, yes.
Yeah, it's like Jonnu Smith. You have to expect, okay, he could probably have a career game like Jonnu did last week. But more often than not, they don't, But so you just have to have realistic expectations. That's the biggest hurdle in fantasy is having the correct expectations for what your players are going to do.
Yeah.
If you can get a hold of that, you will have a lot more success in setting your lineups every week. And, being realistic is, it's hard sometimes, but you need to do it. And, just know that, okay, a guy went off for 30 points last week. That's probably not going to happen again this week,
I would go with Kyler. Very, 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 very small margin, though. I think I would go with Kyler here.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he's playing I know they're playing the Cowboys. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler's the more competitive game, so I like that. I mean, but you can't go wrong starting Jaden Daniels either ever. I mean,
I would start. I would start Kyler here.
I would probably lean Daniels just because he's at home and Kyler's on the road. That's going to be my deal breaker.
All right.
Otherwise, they're really close to my opinion.
Again, you're right. The only dude. Again, this is week 12, so we got to kind of take it with a grain of salt based on the fact that you've got the likes of Cousins off and Derek Carr's off. I mean, so all players are pushed up regardless of the position. But the only one that's separating Jaden Daniels and Kyler Murray happens to be Justin Herbert. That's the only one in between both of them. Bateman popped it up with the knee injury today. Is Deontay Johnson worth a shot? Yeah, they got to get him involved at some point. At some point, well, let me put it this way, Mad Max. I would probably feel more comfortable playing Deontay than I would Jonathan Brooks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Deontay's having, he's not lighting anything on fire, right? He's not even getting that many snaps, but it's going to happen at some point. I mean, I know a lot of people are dropping him right now. So to me, he's a good stash at least going forward.
Unless this is another team of yours. But if it's the same team, Mad Max, I would definitely I would not hesitate on Deontay Johnson, especially under half PPR and PPR versus Jonathan Brooks, where I don't think we're going to get anything out of him with that. Maybe one catch, maybe a catch, maybe they try to set him up with a screen to get him created into space. Maybe.
Sheldo
goat. Oh, my back is against the wall. Oh, now you came to the right place. Should I go Westbrook, Akine, Alec Pierce, or somebody in my flex full PPR? Am I reading the question correctly, Sheldo? My back is up against the wall, needing a wide receiver flex flyer, wide receiver flex flyer. Should I go with Nick Westbrook, Akine, Alec Pierce, or somebody in my flex full? So,
I mean, I'm just going to go with these two options because I don't know what the other options are.
Yeah. That's. I think we're going to do that, and I think we're going to go with Alec Pierce.
I'm going opposite. I'm going Westbrook Akine.
I believe that Commissioner Rhino and AB played Nick Westbrook Akine last night in the Week 12 Friday DFS show, and I just absolutely cringed like I am right now.
Okay. Well, I mean,
scored five out of the last 6 weeks. Yeah, yes. I'm sure this is just going to continue.
And it's probably not. But do you trust Anthony Richardson playing against the Lions.
Yes. Yes, I
to
do.
pass and be. This isn't the Jets. Sorry, Sieg, but
No,
this
I know
isn't
that.
the Jets.
No, the
I know
Jets stink.
everyone's looking at
The Jets
Richardson
stink.
last week like, oh my God, he's fixed. He's amazing. He's MVP again. No, he was playing the Jets. I'm sorry. This week he's playing a real defense with a real defensive scheme. Like, I'm not trusting any Colts wide receivers unless I have zero other options. I mean, maybe Pittman, but I just can't trust anybody else. Not against the Lions. I'm sorry, I can't. And I know Titans are playing Houston, but it's better than Anthony Richardson against the Lions, in my opinion. I don't know.
I think we're in for an upset special. I am. We're in for an upset special. They're playing in Indianapolis, correct?
That game is in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think we're in for an upset special. I think we're in for a couple of deep bombs, deep shots.
Yeah, I'm sure, and that's Alec Pierce's game. I mean, so there's always that chance. It's like playing MVS or Xavier Worthy.
And I actually also, I'm also confident, almost 99% confident that that's where the Lions are most susceptible, at the cornerback position, allowing it deep. They're a very, very good defense otherwise, especially against the run. Lions are a little susceptible playing the boundary, vertical. Again, Nick Westbrook-Akine is a nice story. He's scored now the last 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. I mean, like, this is kind of bordering like on flukish. And our own team, people that we work with very closely, dear to us, actually played Nick Westbrook-Akine and suggested it to the masses, and I'm against it. Show goat. Why don't you come back if you can? Of course, tomorrow we'll be back at 8:00 live, right here. We've got the fantasy dad Trent will be on with us, as well as the Commissioner Rhino. We can weigh in on these guys. I'll do some more digging. However, or how about a little H work assignment? Is there another option? Alec Pierce isn't a terrible one, especially, again, this week. But I'm not under no certain. Well, I mean, he did say his back is up against the wall. So, I mean, yeah. Yes, I could see. I could tell. I wish we make the best decision for you. Derek Buck Goat Buck. Darius Slayton. I'm a Joe McMillan guy this week. I am. For much of the reasons that we outlined a little while ago regarding like Mike Evans' return. Now you got Kate Otten should be freed up. I think Jalen McMillan stands to now thrive in this offensive ecosystem with Baker Mayfield, because he's the dude that should be stepping up right into the Chris Godwin, route tree, so to speak. He didn't have much success with it a couple of weeks ago before he was out, because of the fact that it's like one of his first major games played. B, he didn't have another body on the field that could support that for him. Like Mike Evans will support that for Jalen McMillan working out of the slot. And then Sterling Shepard is the other boundary wide receiver. I think Jalen McMillan could absolutely eat in this Chris Godwin role. I picked him up. I may have to play him if Malik Neighbors winds up being out in my team. That is, this team should not lose another game as far as I'm concerned, but it might. Knock on wood, at 9-2, I may play Jalen McMillan. I may. If I'm going to play him.
In this situation, I think I would do the same, just siding with Baker. I mean, we've all seen Baker can throw it up. I mean, if if it was Darius Slayton, versus Juwan Jennings or something like that, I'd have a harder time,
Let's not forget also, hey, they were off this past week. They've had more time to, go over the installs, to work on all the stuff that teams work on when they're off on bye. An extra time for him to, get right with whatever was bothering him, which I'm not sure was really that much. Nevertheless, I think he's supposed to be, or is expected to be, a major part of this team moving forward. They drafted him relatively high, right? I mean, maybe not that high, but still.
Yeah,
they are high on him.
Yeah. I really like Jalen McMillan. He just hasn't been healthy since Godwin went down. That's been the biggest problem, So yeah, I'm side McMillan here, definitely.
Okay. Tommy, guys, your thoughts in one game out of the playoffs? My team love Tyree, Scary Terry, Saquon, Monty, Evans in the flex, the Disley Bear, Tucker, and either the Broncos or KC. I also got Stevenson available. Well, I mean, who's Ramondre going in for?
Yeah, I'm not starting Ramondre or any of those. I'm keeping your lineup just how it is. Keep Ramondre on the bench.
You're one game out for a reason, Tommy. Yeah. Now the defense, either Broncos or KC. Who are you going to take here?
They're both great.
They're both smash defenses.
Yeah.
This week also.
Yeah, they're both home runs.
They both got. I mean, Broncos got more of the lockdown corner in Surtain. The Chiefs up front are probably better than the Broncos up front, statistically.
I mean, I'm probably going to side with KC, just because if I have to think about the Panthers and the Raiders and who could maybe surprise us and put up 30 points somehow in a freak game. Which I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
It would be a freak, absolute freak game.
I think the Raiders have a better chance of doing something like that than Bryce Young does. I'm going to go KC on this one. But they're both good, and I think they're both going to be fine.
Sniper's about to start Justin Veal. Is that his name, Justin?
I honestly don't even know.
Ville or Marvin Mims. Ville or Marvin Mims with Bo Nix as a stack. Which one would you do?
Neither.
Yeah. So, but my real question is, was the Sniper advised to perhaps look into a stack?
And his name is Devon, not just
whatever. Were you advised to start a stack because you're looking to, score as many points as possible? Because again, it's not really head to head at this point. It's really just full on points versus the cutoff. I don't think
in Scott Fishbowl.
Yeah. Yeah, but Marvin Mims, though, I mean, is that the dude that's going to take you to the top?
I mean, it's a coin toss between those two, Mims and take your pick. I mean, neither one's really.
Who's taking the returns there?
I don't know that.
I know everybody thought that Marvin Mims was going to take returns. I don't know if I'm not necessarily sure that panned out. Who's taking the returns for the Broncos?
Defense returning. Mims is doing the returning, or at least some of it. And it looks like he's doing all the So I'd side with Mims and Scott Fishbowl.
There you go.
If you have Mims,
There you go. Oh my God, Jalen Waddle, Tommy. Jalen Waddle.
Hey, Tommy, just be happy you got 2.9 from Tillman. I have a league that it's -2 for a fumble, so I got 0.9. I would love those 2 extra points.
What about in the Rhino League? In a Rhino League, he scored 7.30.
I saw that. I saw that. When you guys, I'm like, so I was like, oh, he didn't do too bad. And then I went to my first league with Tillman, and I'm like 0.9. I'm like, what kind of scoring does that league have?
Let me show you again. There you go. Here he is. Jonsey the Entertainer. Big time BN. Well, this dude's got CeeDee Lamb on the bench, but he could easily just insert him. And Jamar's off here. Pitts is garbage. You see that? Yeah, this is a pretty good team too. In a little bit of a loony scoring setting. Oh my God, what a bust right here. This guy's a bust. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming, folks. Stop the
screen. All right, Waddle or J-Mo. He already has St. Brown in the lineup.
All right, here's the thing. I think we're going back to Jalen Waddle here. I think we're going to go back to him. I believe that based on what we saw last week from the Rams against the Patriots, I mean, like, the Patriots secondary is not good. They could be had. That's number one. Number two, if we kind of buy into like this, taking the best corner from one team and having him shadow a wide receiver, then that means that the best corner on New England would be on Tyreek Hill. That leaves Jalen Waddle kind of sort of open. But the caveat to this really has been the fact that to his second read or his second option has been to Jonnu Smith. That's what's killing it. That's what's really that's been the bane of our Jalen Waddle existences.
Yeah,
I think again, if this was for PPR, I think he could still get us more catches than J-Mo would. J-Mo's got a better shot of scoring. What do we want? We want touchdowns, right? We want touchdowns.
Yeah.
We want touchdowns no matter what. Waddle is due for a touchdown. He's due for a touchdown. He's due to lead this team in reception and yards. He's due.
Yeah, I mean,
if we sit him now, it'll be the week that he winds up going off, and that always happens. We have to continue. We have to double. This would be like a triple down on Jalen Waddle at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're both risky. Waddle for obvious reasons, and J-Mo just because he's very hit or miss. And, you know, when you're already at a 2.9 for someone, you kind of want a little extra to make up for that. And either guy could do it. I mean, I'm okay going Waddle for obvious reasons of how bad the Patriots are. I think saw just Stafford do last week. I mean,
they were just in like, okay, so they may button it up a little bit, right? So you would think they would after like what we saw last week. However, again, though, they're not very good. They're gonna allow the Dolphins. The Dolphins are expected to win this game. They're gonna allow points. We're gonna get some points in this game from the Dolphins. Does Jalen Waddle stand to get a piece of that? I think he does. I believe it. I believe it. We have to go back to him. That's what I'm gonna do. J-Mo, I know we made a call for J-Mo earlier on the show. It was a different circumstance. I like J-Mo also, but in that scoring thing,
this is
different. This is
for
different.
me.
This is different.
You know,
I mean, how many seasons did he have? Like, he's had 3 1,000-yard seasons. This is not a bad wide receiver.
No, not at all.
Like, what the hell are we talking? It's been a shitty year. Not that he lost his powers of wide receivering.
The passing game is just not gelling yet, you know. But it only takes 1 week, and then they can. I mean, as soon as they, flip that switch. I mean, you don't want to be missing that week, you know.
Just like
I'm okay going with Waddle here. I mean,
just like we're almost about at that tipping point with the Disley Bear. Like we should be right at that tipping point also with Jonnu Smith. I mean, how much more could expect from him in terms of this type of production before he kind of dips a little bit?
Yeah.
Then you have to hope that that it goes back up from that dip. Let's go with Waddle, Tommy. That's my call. Blizzard Goat. PPR Dynasty. I like it. 8-3. I like that even more. Would you trade Brian Robinson? Devontae Adams, I guess, for AJ Brown?
No, I'm guessing Devonta Smith.
Okay.
He said Devonta, not Devontae.
That's the same guy to me.
Devontae has an E. Devonta Smith has an A.
Safe. 8-3. Would you trade Brian Robinson plus Devontae Smith for AJ Brown? I've got Kyron, Devon A-Chain, Joey Mix, Garrett Wilson, DK. Kind of like having Brian Robinson, no?
Yeah,
like having that security and running back. It looks like we're okay here at wide receiver. We're okay with Garrett, DK, Brian Thomas Jr. You don't really have much of Brian Thomas Jr. for the remainder of this season, but hopefully, the situation improves over there next season. Roma Dunze, Jawan Jennings is probably not obsolete, but he probably goes back to his role that he had prior to Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, you're 8-3, so you're not doing horrible. And a lot of times when it's working, you don't mess with it. But in a 10 team, the less teams you have in the league, the more top end talent you need. And for me, I love Brian Robinson. I love him. But you have Kyron, A-Chain, and Mixon. I mean, you got a bye week.
No,
I don't know if you have any more bye weeks. Those all
had
their bye weeks. So
remember, we're not. I mean, we're playing for the chip now, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're also trying to set Blizzard up for 2025 as well.
Yeah. Which Kyron should be the same, or I mean, hypothetically, projecting out these 3 running backs, Kyron, Devon, and Mixon. I don't see much difference unless there's major coaching changes or, without looking at their guys they're losing, I think going from
I'm gonna disagree.
I know you love Devonta Smith. And I love AJ Brown. I mean, I don't love getting. I would rather see Devonta and like Jennings or something, instead. But I don't know. I doubt you'd get that done.
Here's the other thing. Do you really believe that this is a resurrection, a resurgence, a new Joe Mixon? Or is he? I mean, you think he's really going to continue on to do this again?
It's what he's done his entire career.
No, this is a career year for Joe Mixon.
Yeah, maybe this year's been a career year, but Mixon's always been a volume running back. When you give him volume, he produces. It's not great sometimes looking when you break down the stats, but he still produces.
He was always a 3-down running back, yes, but was never asked to take on this type of load.
What are you talking? He's always been a volume running back.
Not this type of load.
I gotta let this.
This has been, and on top of it, this isn't a knock. This has also been absolutely efficient for Joe Mixon. Like where with the Bengals for years, it's been like him running into a wall for 2.7 yards per carry.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, it wasn't.
This is a career year for Joe Mixon. I don't see him having the same year again next year. I just don't. I could be wrong.
Okay, looking at
this trade.
Okay. Over his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, he's been in the NFL for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's played one season. He played 6 games, so I'm not counting that.
That was his first year, wasn't it?
That was 2020. That was year 4. Every other season he's played 14 or more. Okay. He's hit, and this is his carry count per year. This is not even including the receiving, which is like 30 to 60 balls. 178, 237, 278, 292, 210, 257. And he's up to 171 now. He's always been a high volume running back. And I don't see that changing. I mean,
Joe Mixon. I gotta see the same thing you're looking at.
I just went to Career Stats ESPN.
I'm someone.
Or I can just share my screen with you too.
I'm someone that's been in the Joe Mixon business.
Yeah, and if you look at his receptions too,
and any gray hairs that you may see out of my head, it's been because of the Joe Mixon business. Stats, career. Come on, give me something better than that. Yeah, here it is. 6 games, 3.5, 4.9, 4.1. Yeah.
So
he's coming up on he's gonna have, I guess he's coming up on 8,000. He'll crack 8,000 yards next year.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Mixon's 28
on the ground. All right.
He's 28 years old, so he is hitting that threshold. 28 is the age where you have to start worrying about running backs.
Would you trade Brian Robinson? I would want to hold Brian Robinson and I'm telling you, I think this is where I was going with the Joe Mixon. Not necessarily some biased my career with him, but if you were to perhaps present Joe Mixon along in this deal, you might be able to get some capital back with it.
I don't
you
know.
might be able to get something back as well, not just AJ Brown. That's what I'm trying to say. Like depending on that manager, depending on who you're trading with, they say, "Holy shit, Joe Mixon, this guy's like the next coming of God, Derrick Henry. This is the next Derrick Henry."
Yeah, but I don't think I'm trading away Joe Mixon.
You've got Devon Achane, you've got Kyron Williams.
I don't care. Joe Mixon is a top-end, high-end running back this year. You trade him away, you're hurting your chances at a championship. Okay. I mean, I love Brian Robinson. I do. But if up against these other running backs, Brian Robinson's probably the 4th. Mixon's the one. You know.
Still the one.
But I mean,
Blizzard, good team, man.
I could justify doing it, but I could also hold and be okay because if you're 8-3, you don't need to do anything crazy. I mean
that to me, or that we could both agree on. As a manager of 1-9-2 team and a 7-4 team, do I have any 8-3 teams? I don't think so.
Yeah,
if he was
3-8, it would be a different story.
And a 9-2, a 9-2 team. I made the 9-2 deal 2 weeks ago. So I mean, there's no more trading to be done. However, this is a dynasty, so you could probably trade all year round. Yeah, if you're going for the chip, you're going for the chip right now. I guess you could hold on to Joey Mixon and cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. But he's
looking at this
having
year,
a career year.
Devonta just came up with a hamstring injury too. So he could be out this week, and the way we're seeing hamstrings, this could take him out multiple weeks. So I would look at this trade as you're not going to have Devonta Smith available for at least a couple of weeks if he misses this, So you're rolling with Garrett Wilson, DK, Brian Thomas Jr., Rome Odunze, Juwan Jennings, which isn't horrible,
Keeper league. Keeper league. Garrett Wilson or George Pickens? Keeper.
Like keep forever or 1 year or
keep for, let's say, I guess 1 year. Let's just say keep for next season.
This year and next year.
Garrett Wilson or George Pickens?
Probably Pickens.
Okay, let's move
on. I want to say Garrett Wilson, but I don't trust that Aaron Rodgers is gonna ever be more than what he is now.
By the way, Blizzard, let us know how you did this week. Let us know if you made the trade, and much luck to you. Of course, you're a fucking goat. Armin's a goat. What's up, man? Debo for Disley. That's Debo, right? Not D-Bob.
Yeah, D-Bob.
Hey, look, I like that name too. We could call him D-Bob.
I do too.
D-Bob. It should be D-Bob after the season. Another Disley and Otten. Purdy's out. Yes, he is. And Debo has been inconsistent. Yes, he has, Armin.
I'm not. I'm still starting Debo.
I'm probably not either. I'm probably going to start Debo over the tight end in this situation. If it's this situation for Disley and Otten. So like what? One of them is a tight end, and now it's either two tight ends. One of them goes into.
No, I just think he's saying Debo, Disley, Otten are the options. Which I'm starting Debo. Even to me, he could even get an increase with production because they could hand the ball off to him more. Jair Alexander is out for the Packers. That secondary takes a huge hit with Jair out. So even with Kyle Allen or whoever's starting for San Francisco,
I don't know. Something's.
I'm not starting Disley. Otten, maybe I can make a case for, maybe, but Disley, no. I'm sorry. Everyone's head over heels over Disley, and I don't get it. I don't. What has he done that's been so? Yeah, okay. He's been okay, but everyone's freaking out about Disley. That's all I've heard about for 2 weeks. He scored 18 points last week. Amazing. Week before that, 8. Week before that, 2.9. Week before that, 9.1. And then he had a 16-point game. Sure, but I'm sorry. People are treating Disley like he's Travis. It's just I'm getting annoyed with it.
This is funny. Oh man, I love it. Everybody's look. I picked him up prior to week 11, which would have been last week. I picked him up in that situation for Trey McBride. It worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, he's a good fill-in. I mean,
But was it?
or he's
But
a guy you throw in there and hope for the best.
weren't we? But I think we were recommending him in week 10, though, weren't we? No,
well, you probably were. I probably wasn't.
No, I mean, for waivers. Like, yeah, we were recommending him, but not to necessarily start. But it was sneaky then. Yeah. Now it's not sneaky anymore. And if it's not sneaky to us, that means it's not sneaky to the NFL teams. However, why are we all over it again this week? Look who he's playing. That fucking that team. It's 11-on-7.
Yeah.
It's 11-on-7.
He's got a good matchup again.
That's why we're in on him again.
I'm not starting him over Debo.
I promise you, if the matchup was different, we may not. You wouldn't see Disley in the top 14 probably. It's because he's playing the Ravens again. Yeah. That's why it's again.
All right, so you go in D-Bob or Disley or Otten. What are you doing? I'm going Debo.
I would go Debo. I don't really feel that good about it, though. I don't feel that good about it because of the current situation with the Niners. I can't in good conscience stare at Debo Samuel or D-Bob Samuel on my bench and have two tight ends or even just one out of those two in place of them. I couldn't in good conscience do that. But I don't feel good about this, Orman. I don't like this 49ers situation. I think personally, no news, no information, no reporting on this from anyone outside of this office, the GOAT office. I think they're mailing it in, the Niners. I think they're just about washing their hands with this year.
All right, Mark, since Purdy is out, I can't decide between Stafford, Drake May, Anthony Richardson.
Again, Rhino went with Matt Stafford yesterday in DFS, chasing Stafford. Drake May is playing the Dolphins. That's a tough out, even for someone that does have rushing upside. Jonsey, your one and only, does not like Anthony Richardson. I think in this situation this week, he's not a bad play to do it 2 weeks in a row. I'm not saying he's going to have the same game as he did last week against the Jets. I'm not suggesting that. Stafford's probably your safest play here.
Yeah, I'm going Stafford.
Stafford's probably, you said, don't expect 4 touchdowns again. I would also expect them to attempt to get Kyren Williams going. At least attempt to. He hasn't scored in 3 weeks. Holy shit. All the walls are crashing down. Imagine that. That. But if they do get Kyren Williams going, it means less pass volume for Matthew Stafford. And again, just temper the expectations a little bit, Mark. But you have decent options here. You have above decent options here in place of Brock Purdy. And it would be Matt Stafford for me out of these 3.
Yeah, me too.
Forever Eagles. Oh, that's a badass image right there, Eagles GOAT. Which quarterback should I start this week? Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold. I feel like the Chiefs are going to run. Yeah, we do also. We do think that they will go up in the ball game. They've got an somewhat expendable. I really shouldn't call him expendable. They've got a player in Kareem Hunt that they kind of could just let go. And I don't mean let go as in release. I mean like, go ahead, Kareem.
Oh.
If you tweak something, by all means, we've got our guy coming back. And we also we've got reserves as well if we have to.
Yeah.
I happen to agree.
Here's the thing, though, is I look at both of these games. I look at the Chiefs game possibly being run heavy with Hunt, and I look at the Vikings versus the Bears as being run heavy with Aaron Jones. I think they could be very similar game scripts with these teams. So at the end of the day, are you trusting Sam Darnold over Patrick Mahomes? I'm not. Not at this point in the season. Week 1, sure. Week 2, sure. Not in week 12.
Well, let me ask you this question: What is it? What's determining the trust? And so now that I preface that, is it the fact that you don't trust Sam Darnold to have a clean game, or you don't trust Sam Darnold to throw like 2 touchdowns with no picks, versus do you not trust Pat Mahomes to just throw 1 touchdown, not throw more than 1 touchdown, and have a clean game? Like what is it that you don't trust? You know what I'm saying?
I trust Mahomes will be more consistent. Both of these quarterbacks have obviously make mistakes. You know, Mahomes is throwing interceptions. Darnold is Sam Darnold. But with similar matchups, in my opinion, I'm going with the guy that, I mean, I could never start Darnold over Mahomes when I think both teams are just going to run the ball more. You know, I don't see the Vikings needing to pass against the Bears because the Bears are susceptible against the run.
How could you look yourself in the mirror with Pat Mahomes, the Super Bowl 3 times Super Bowls? I mean, like, yeah, no, I get it. In this situation, it's almost like starting your studs, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, yeah, it's going to be heavy run game script that we think for the Chiefs, but we also think, like, okay, as heavy of a run as it could be for that game script, you could still see Mahomes throwing 2 touchdowns in this game, 200 and change, and we're calling it a game. On the other hand, which is what I was kind of getting to, we could see Sam Darnold throw 2 touchdowns, but we could also see him throw 2 interceptions as well and turn the ball over. And that's not going to get you as good of a game. Now, again, it's not saying that Patrick Mahomes is infallible. He may throw 1, 2. Yes, he might. But I think we're going to trust the Kansas City Chiefs to get this done.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have a weather issue, right? There's no weather issue there. Can't believe I just brought that up. Yeah, I'm looking at any other factor that could sway this for Pat Mahomes, which is absurd.
Who could I get for Jerry Jeudy? I mean, what do you need? You can get what people are willing to pay. I mean,
what do you want? Who do you like?
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for. I mean, what you could get at tight end is different than what you could get at quarterback for Jerry Jeudy.
Do you want Amir Abdullah?
Jerry Jeudy hasn't exactly been lights out this year. Sure, he had a good game last week. But other than that, that's all. The rest of the year has been nothing, and I don't see him having a lot of value right now, just because people are going to look at it as a one-off, unless he can.
Two games now. It's actually.
Oh yeah, last night too. Yeah, I'm not counting. I forgot.
But then what about the week before that? And I don't think he scored. The week before that, like. I believe a Cedric Tillman game. I think it was still a pretty decent game for him. Regardless, what if you're hell bent on getting rid of Jerry Jeudy, trading Jerry Jeudy? Who could you get? What do you need, Exco? If you need a running back, we could try to get you a running back. If you're going to trade Jerry to a team that needs a wide receiver, you need a running back. We could try. Could you get a guy that's on by?
I mean, here, running backs that me personally I would give up for Jerry Jeudy, a Rico Dowdle. You know,
How about
I
how about
mean,
someone who played last night?
Alexander Madison.
How about
I'm not giving up J.K. Dobbins or something for Jerry Jeudy. You know,
how about Jalen Warren? Did well last night. That owner may want
I'd
to sell
rather
Jalen Warren high.
I'd rather have Jeudy.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would take Austin Eckler for Jerry Jeudy, but hopefully that Austin Eckler owner doesn't sell him for Jerry Jeudy because he's making a mistake. But so
All right. With no ends alone, Detroit's middle is very. There's another injury. We don't talk about that type of stuff enough, in my opinion. And I'm glad that Max brought it up to us. Alexander Zalone plays on defense. I mean, like when you have defensive players that are key, and they're already. I mean, not that we've seen that much effect from his injury, the pass rusher Hutchinson, but now you've got another dude that's out for the Lions. Yeah. Not saying that they're going to go on a tailspin and now lose the remaining games of the season. No, but yeah, I mean, if the Colts try to attack that in the middle of the field, yeah. Now that I'm not sure that doesn't mean Alec Pierce benefits from that, or that would be Josh Downs. That could be Michael Pittman. Rodgers to the Vikings.
I highly doubt it, but
it's the same blue. Isn't it the same? It's the same story, isn't it? It's like the same exact blueprint. Same blueprint.
Give old Favre a call and see what hotel he used.
What a sad
when he moved. So you can copy that too.
Just a sad situation. That's all. Just a sad ass situation.
Gerard, PPR, need a wide receiver and a flex. Downs, Ridley, Jennings, Rashad White, Hawkinson. Well, I'm taking Hawkinson out right away. I'm taking Jennings out right away. So to me, it comes down to Downs, Ridley, Rashad White. You know how I feel about Indianapolis this week. I'm going Ridley, Rashad White.
I would go Calvin Ridley, and I would go Josh Downs. I would go with the first two. Todd Bowles was giving us some smoke signals the other day with Bucky Irving. Yeah, he's earned more snaps. He's earned more snaps. Todd Bowles is a good coach. He really is. Like he's done well with that team.
Yeah.
Post Brady, he's done well with that. They've drafted well. Thoughts on Trey Lance rest of season? Before we answer you, Goat, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. What are the thoughts? That I think they may give him some opportunity. Now, what does he do with it? I don't know.
Yeah, they're still starting Cooper Rush, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not again, I don't watch college football. I only get into the process once our season's over, and then I pay attention to the prospects coming in and what the talent evaluators have to say about those players. And he hasn't gotten a fair shake in this league. Is one school of thought. The other school of thought is when he has been on the field, he hasn't been very good. But again, does he need more reps? Does he need more opportunity? I mean, Mac Jones sure as hell got a much fairer shake. What that bust Zach Wilson got a much fairer shake than Trey Lance. So yeah, quarterback. It's just a lousy situation that Trey Lance wound up in, where he has not had a good amount of opportunity. He has not had a fair shake.
Yeah, I find it funny how, in the fantasy community, especially, take a guy like Anthony Richardson. He's played not even a full season yet.
He's played 6 games, 7 games.
And that's the argument for him is everyone, he just needs reps. He needs reps. He needs reps. Well, you know what? He's probably played just as many games as Trey Lance. But people think of Trey Lance and they're like, he's washed. He's out. Well, why do we have one logic for this player but a different logic for the other player?
Because it's selective. That's why.
It's biased and it's selective. You notice it every year with different things. And
so the other thing that works against him, and again, whether it's fair or not is debatable. Okay, you get hurt, you get injured, it's part of the game. Somebody came in, stepped into the role and excelled in it. And that kind of that closes the door on him to a degree. It shouldn't have closed it fully. But what do I think about him the rest of the season? We got to get him on. We got to get him with a helmet on the field, and we need to see him again.
If you have a very deep roster, you can hold him. But
if this is dynasty, he's probably rostered. If this is someone that you're relying on for redraft and fantasy playoffs this season, forget it. Forget it.
Yeah, redraft leagues, you shouldn't be rostering Trey Lance. If it was a super flex, I could maybe make a case for it on speculation that he may get the start and you need that second quarterback still, and there's nothing else available.
Does Jerry do they give him an opportunity come week 17, come week 18? Like, all right, here you go, start, audition for the league. Do they give where he could kind of feel no pressure, he's not really pressured to win the football game. Obviously, he's pressured for other reasons, because of the auditioning factor. Do they give him that opportunity? They might.
To me, they should be giving him that opportunity right now.
But that's not for fantasy. That does us no good for anything else. This is a good football conversation, though.
Yeah.
This is an excellent football conversation, right, Sniper? You like that, huh, Jonsey? Should I drop
Chargers or 49ers to stream Dolphins?
Oh, well, the Chargers are playing the Ravens. Who's got the better week 15, week 16, week 17? That's what we're looking at right now. Can you hold both?
Yeah, this week Dolphins D is,
I bet you,
probably the best option.
I wouldn't be that surprised. I wouldn't be that shocked if Jimbo's team and that defense holds Johnny Boy's team to a relatively, I don't want to say low score, but kind of like a, not a berserko 30 plus points. Look what the Bengals just put up a good number on the Chargers, so the Ravens can also. Should I drop the Chargers? Drop the 49ers. Drop the 49ers, pick up the Dolphins.
Yeah, I can.
And just know this though, my friend. You may be doing this a little bit more often now, come week 13, come week 14. And we're going to want the best defenses in place for week 15, especially week 15.
All right. JK or Bucky this week?
They're both sharing a little bit. They're both sharing to a certain degree. I'm going to go with Bucky. I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to see many more J.K. Dobbins pass catching, explosive plays like that. I really don't.
I'm going J.K. on this one. I look at that Giants Buccaneers game. I don't see high totals, so I'm just looking at scoring opportunities. I just think Chargers and Baltimore, it could easily be high scoring. So, or at least I see the Chargers having a lot more scoring opportunities, probably.
The Frog Goats, they're actually back to back. They're one right after another in consensus. I'm gonna go with Little Bucka. I like JK as well. I think it'll be a little bit. It'll be tougher for JK to get going against the Ravens. So not
Ravens have a good run defense, obviously.
What else do we got, Jonsey? Before we wrap up for the evening, appreciate you guys very much for being here with us for the Week 12 Lineup Advice Show. Again, if you're new to the channel, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the brand new channel. We are just growing and continuing on from here. We will be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. You get the full lot of us, the whole entire team, providing you with advice to win this week, to dominate this week, right, man, Max? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Broncos or Commanders. Good matchups this week for the defenses. We got Broncos in Vegas and Commanders in Dallas. On paper, I want to say Broncos, but something's telling me Commanders.
Are they playing out here, or are they playing down in Jerry World? No, they're probably
they're at Commanders are at home this week.
Yeah, they're both good, Max. They're both good. He's like the Texans on that one of those final plays, like the fumble recovery and the touchdown by the defense. If they didn't get that 8 points, the Texans, it would have been just an okay type of game. That's the thing that I think we want to press upon our goats more. Like, defense is just as volatile as it is the tight end position. Yep. Unless you get that scoring touchdown, most of the time, you're getting a good 9, 10, 11 points, give or take. Because again, because they allow scoring. They allow the offense to score against them.
Yep.
In this situation, look how bad the Cowboys' entire status is on offense. Commanders, Broncos, divisional game. Maybe Gardner gets Brock going. I would lean a little bit more with the Commanders. A little bit. Not much.
Yeah.
Not much.
Jacob, need a tight end with Ingram on bye. Best options are Ertz, currently rostered. Hunter Henry, Will Dissly, Dalton Schultz, PPR.
The Disley Bear. It's not Dalton Schultz. Let's take him out of the equation.
Yeah, no.
We had Zach Ertz do well last week, and Hunter Henry did not do well last week. We had Will Dissly do well last week. It's the Disley Bear versus the pass funnel and the Ravens. Hunter Henry, which is like probably second on the team for target share, probably. If not, like he's 1B for targets there.
I mean, unless I have something.
I'm gonna stick with the Disley Bear.
See, to me, unless it depends who you'd have to drop to get Hunter Henry or Disley, because I don't really want to drop Ertz.
He's probably need a tight end with Ingram on bye. Best options currently rostered.
Yeah.
So you have all these guys rostered?
No. He has.
It's Ertz that's current.
Okay.
Now I got it. It's
so
Ertz.
He would
Ertz
probably
is currently
dropping Ertz, I would assume, to add Hunter Henry or Disley.
I think I'm dropping Evan Ingram.
I'm not dropping Evan Ingram.
I wouldn't be. Let me put it this way: based on again the Jacksonville Jaguars situation and that offense, I don't really see. I see there being better options available than Evan Ingram. But again, because of this position, because of how volatile it is, let's play the matchups here. Let's play with either. I'm going to go with Disley. I'm going to stick with Disley. Right, Sniper?
I'm just going to stick with Ertz. Hunter Henry or Westbrook Akine.
Pat M.
In a flex. I'll almost always side wide receiver in a flex.
I think this is the week. I swear we were talking about this this past Tuesday with Rhino. If there's going to be a week, it would be this one in week 14, where I'd rather go get the tight end 11 than wide receiver. God knows Westbrook Akine's ranking. If Hunter Henry's tight end 14, I'd rather have tight end 15, 16 than wide receiver 36 in Nick Westbrook Akine. Because he's only wide receiver 36 because of the dudes that are on by. And I don't know if that's his number, to be honest, but I think you guys get the point.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I would do it, based on this situation, because of the bye. Because of the bye. If this was last week or if it's even next week,
okay,
it's not the same.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's your expectation from a Hunter Henry? 10 points?
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more if he scores. If he scores, like I'm looking at maybe 14.
Okay. I mean, Westbrook in a PPR format. I'm gonna make sure I have this even on PPR. Yeah. In a PPR format.
Please give me per game. If you can. Just per game.
I got to find him again now. I lost. Okay, here he is. 19.7, 6.1, 16 points, 11.9, 9, 7.9. So he's right in that tight end range, of expected points from a tight end, So, I guess.
Gonna go with the Hunter.
I think I'm still going to side the wide receiver.
All right. Let's take one more, two more, and then we're off until tomorrow.
Colts D looks good. Okay. All right. This guy's roster, who was asking about Judy before, he's got Hurts, Barkley, Kyron, Cooper Kupp, Debo. Who could I trade in my roster for who? I still don't. What do you? Let's put it this way: you're not trading Judy for anyone that's going to be an upgrade over any of these guys on the screen currently. So I still not understanding what the goal is here. So like I said, you could probably go get a Rico Dowdle, but you're not starting a guy like that over Kyron or Barkley, so
stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course.
K. Dotton or Hawkinson this week. I'm going.
What's up, Trophy Gold? Yeah, it's K. Dotton.
Yeah. Just do some rapid fire here. Clean this up. Jennings without Purdy, I would roll with Ladd. I'm not trusting the only wide receiver I'm trusting is Devo.
I don't even know who this guy is. I saw B. Allen was picked up today in the league. I thought somebody stole Braylon Allen from me.
If you're is it a super flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, super flex, I could understand it. Because usually quarterbacks aren't dropped in super flexes. Usually there are none.
No, this guy, he was picked up. I don't even know how he was able to pick him up, because there's also positional limits. So I didn't see him make a drop in that. Nevertheless, I thought it was Braylon Allen, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have Braylon Allen. How did he get Braylon Allen off my team?
If Purdy's ruled out already, he could maybe put him in an IR. If that's
Maybe
allowed in that league.
that was it. That's exactly what it was.
All right, trophy pick 2: Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Tyrone, Deebo Samuel. My initial thoughts are Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans.
No Tyrone. We're not calling him.
Not over Cooper Kupp or Mike Evans.
We're not gonna call Tyrone in the flex.
Well, it's picking 2. If it's picking 3, sure. I would never start Tyrone over Cooper Kupp ever. I would start Tyrone maybe over Deebo this week, maybe. Just as the safer play, maybe. I'd do it 100%. But I'm not starting Tyrone over Mike Evans. I'm sorry. As long as Mike Evans plays, he's in my lineup.
Cooper Kupp in Seattle, Mike Evans against the Giants. Yeah, I guess I would go those 2 first. I guess it's close though. It's close. I'm tempted to do Cooper Kupp with Tyrone, and have a wait and see approach with Mike Evans.
I mean, you could.
I'm tempted to do that. Because again, I know, okay, fine. Mike Evans has had a few weeks off now to heal. So, I mean, look, I'm not a doctor, but there's no freaking guarantee at all that like he doesn't just re-aggravate it again. There's got to be some sort of risk percentage attached to this hamstring.
Sure.
But it's probably not that much different than any other player across the board. The only difference is that Mike Evans is no spring chicken in football. Still, he's going to be Baker Mayfield's target earner in the red zone. You're going to want that. You want that at the very least. He should get you some pay dirt. Cooper Kupp should also. What's up, Quail Goat?
Speaking of Rico Dowdle, Rico or Ladd in your flex?
I think the Cowboys just, if it's going to be the same game script as it was this previous week, you're not going to see much Rico Dowdle in the fourth quarter. There's not going to be any reason to play him if they're going to be down that bad.
Yeah, I'm going Ladd here.
And that actually starts to make me nervous with a handful of players, not just Rico Dowdle. There are other circumstances throughout the slate, such as like Kansas City, such as perhaps there's some other circumstances, but a game like Kansas City, they're going to just go up on Carolina. There'd be no reason to make sure that DeAndre Hopkins is fresh for the next game. Same thing for Dallas here. If they're getting their heads kicked in and they know they have to play Thursday, Thanksgiving. Yeah. It's Ladd, though. It's Ladd. The Smitty Goat. And Stafford, since Purdy's out, it's going to be Matt Stafford here, Smitty Goat. It's going to be Stafford for me.
Yeah. Trophy agrees with us on Ladd. Quail, Hubbard, or Pollard this week?
Tony. I'm going to go with Tony here. I know Hubbard's ranked better. He's done better. I think Tony is all volume here. There's a good, better than good possibility that we're going to see some Jonathan Brooks this weekend, fellas.
Yeah, and with
and if he happens to start getting in a groove from one Jonathan to another Jonathan, it's starting to cut into Chuba's workload, right, Smitty?
Oh, he's starting Stafford and May. He's in a super flex.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. That's it.
That's what you got to do. I mean,
there's no Purdy.
I've seen some people this week be high on Drake May. I'm not there, but some people are calling for him this week. So.
Smitty's doing our job for us. Purdy's out. Hell yeah. That's what you got to do, Smitty. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8:00. Appreciate you all.
Good.
Jonsey, anything to leave our audience and our goats with?
No, just please
Nothing
give
to-
us a like, a subscribe if you like the show. If you like
Nothing till
us,
tomorrow.
join us tomorrow. Even if you just want to come in and talk football in the comments. I mean, we're always happy to see everyone. So that is it.
It's go time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, fellas.
Deuces.
Ladies and gentlemen and gentle goats.